We are back with you live once again on another Johnny Torch live broadcast. Yes, here we are back on the only way to spend your Saturday here with us live. Another Johnny Torch live stream. This is episode 209 of the Johnny Torch program. Torch News Roundup number 179. So that means we've got a news program for you today. Yay! All the news in pop culture that matters. Some of it that doesn't matter. You know, we don't care. We'll talk about the stuff that doesn't matter sometimes. More often than not, we'll talk about the stuff that doesn't matter. Try not to get too much into rumor and innuendo. Very hot today. Very hot here in Torch Tower, high above the stately metropolis below. So I am going to take frequent H2O breaks beginning now. This is actually very, very hot. This is very hot. And I can't put the fan on because I did that once before and I ruined like half a broadcast. So I'm not going to take the chance. I got to position it far enough away in the room. And then if it's too far away, I don't even feel it. So we're just going to suffer it out here for the next 45 minutes to an hour until we get it right, until we do what we came here for. 7-Eleven today, huh? Seems like a lucky day, a lucky number. Don't they have the free Slurpees at 7-Eleven on 7-Eleven? I don't know if any of them are open now, though. That's the problem. Because usually I take a walk, I hightail it in the 90-degree July heat just to get my free little 2-ounce Slurpee. Is that what it is? It's usually like, I don't know, it's a small thing. But I don't know. I might not even make the effort today. I don't know. I haven't looked it up. Google is your friend. I should check it out and see if that's the case, if they're doing that offer still. But, everything's closed, so I don't know. I honestly don't know. All right. Before we start the show today in earnest, I want to welcome a couple new subscribers I have. I didn't get any comments worthy of addressing. So always remember, put your comments in the comments below, or if we're live, of course, during the chat. But I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Didivan Soth. I met him at the flea market where I'm usually selling my comics. I'm not doing it today. I decided to take a break. I know I took a break last week on the 4th of July. And a belated happy 4th of July to all my American friends out there, all the brethren here in the US of A. But it's just 90 degrees out there. I'm like, I pass. But you can typically find me at the flea market. I'm going to try to do that for most of the Saturdays left in the summer. Taking a break once in a while in cases like this. But if you go to the description, the link is in the description for my website. You'll find the address to the flea market that you can find me at. The best dressed man in comics. That's how you'll recognize me. I actually had somebody say that to me like 2 weeks ago when I was there, saying you're the best dressed guy here. And that's how you can recognize me. That's how you'll find me. I'm the best dressed guy there. Even in 90-degree heat, I'm wearing a 3-piece suit. Well, usually without the jacket, but that's how you'll find me. That's how you can identify me. But Didivan Soth, he was there. Very nice guy. He picked up his copies of The Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye. And again, I'm taking a long time getting through this, but go to the link in the description below and you can find The Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye, my website, where you can pick up some copies. We have the first issue remaster finally. I just got my proof copies this week in the mail, and oh man, I was so worried. I was so worried it wasn't going to come good, but they came beautifully. The color is so vibrant. Everything I want it to be, it is. And I got to wait now to see if the second and third issues, because I've also did some changes to the pages. That's what always happens. You think you're all set, and then you find either a grammatical error or maybe the color wasn't right on a certain page, and I got to go back and fix it. But hopefully I'm not going to have to do that again, at least for the second and third collections. But I'm waiting for them to come in, and then we'll consider it. We'll see if we can do an Indiegogo. I know I really didn't get too far with an Indiegogo last year. I tried. We will see what happens from then on. But you can pick up issues 2 and 3, the collections, on my website. I'll autograph them for you. You can go through Indie Planet. You will not get them autographed that way. And I'm still currently doing a bit of a what do they call it? A sale, I guess, so to speak, where I'm taking off about $1 or so off each book to see if you can take part in that sale if you want to check that as well. You can take a look at the link in the description below for my Twitter page. I put up a couple of free preview pages of the #1 issue remaster there. You can see some pages. I picked a couple pages from an action scene. I'm always wondering what's going to appeal to the fans. Would you rather see an action scene, a humorous scene, some scene of, some gravitas, some drama? But I picked an action scene in this case. See if it appeals to you, and you can check out The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon, Private Eye, in the link in the description below. So, as I said before I digressed, the Van Soth, I met this kid. He is a very great guy, and he has such a great idea for a comic that he's working on. And if you look in I think it's the Bullets Bourbon Live issue, I think that it's the 200 live stream. I really should have marked that down. He actually put down his ideas in the comments. So check out what he has to say. It's really interesting, and he's going to be a great aspiring comic book maker in the future. I just know it, and I hope that he is very successful, and I'll have him on. Like I said, I'm willing to have some guys on the show that are interesting and have some interesting comics. If you are a comic book writer, creator, and you are interested in coming on the show, leave me a comment, send me a DM in my Twitter page. I'll try to get back to you and see if I can work something out. Someone that also recently subbed, Sir Lord Jean-Luc Connery. He is another comic book creator that I've spoken to on Twitter for quite a while, and I'm sure his name is not unfamiliar to you. And he is also the creator of a YouTube channel, which I have subbed to, so please check out Sir Lord Jean-Luc Connery with the unmistakable Sean Connery icon. So I want to thank these folks for subbing, and if you make your sub public, I'll be sure to, again, as I said, I'm willing to promote your channel, promote your comic. If, it has to be reasonably family friendly. I mean, I'm not the biggest, prude, I suppose, but still, I mean, it's got to be, I can't be embarrassed by it. Let's put it that way. Like, I'm not going to do like Winger's Super Harem or something like that. So if your concept has more in common with like Super Harem than, say, Batman or something like that, there's a chance I might say no. But basically, if you're interested, I'll entertain any and all, submissions. All right. So with all that out of the way, we have our friend Hunter Iggy here in the chat, and now I will take any comments and questions you have. Please put them in the description here in the chat or in the comments. Hunter Iggy asks, Johnny Torch, what anime character would you like to see in the DCEU if Zack Snyder added him or her? Oh, man, this is difficult because, to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of Zack Snyder. I know there's a lot of people that like his take on the DCEU. I'm not really a big fan of his, so I really don't know what I would like to see him tackle. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I suppose maybe a more grim and violent character would be suited for him. Maybe Lobo. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'd have to think long and hard about that one. Because, like I said, I'm not too familiar with too many of the more violent characters. Because he seems to tend that way. Let's put it that way. So, thank you for the comment, Hunter. I always forget that I can put the comments on the screen until after I answer them practically. But like I always say, Hunter's a big friend to the show. Always happy to see him in the comments section here. And I love answering any questions you guys have about any topics we have on the show or anything. I'll basically answer anything about anything as long as it's not, too depraved, I'll probably address it. So anything, just let me know. If I can help you with it, I'll be happy to. Now, here's something interesting. I found this on Twitter. This is apparently a honest-to-goodness 3D image of what Cheetah is going to look like in Wonder Woman 84. This is Kristen Wiig, and we haven't really gotten an actual image of her yet. A officially released look at her as the Cheetah. But this actually looks pretty good. I know they showed an image of her not, about, I don't know, it's been like 3 or 4 months now. And it really didn't look as good as this. This kind of looks like I can get behind it. This looks like a Cheetah that might work in live action. Again, it kind of looks like they're going with a Cheetah type look from Thundercats. That was kind of my first reaction. But I don't know. I think it'll work. Of course, it's a 3D kind of image, so we're really not getting the color scheme kind of how that's going to look. But if that's kind of the design, I think it'll work. I think it looks good. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you like the look of this Cheetah? Is this going to work in live action? Or, because I don't know, they seem to be hesitant, let's put it that way, to get a official image of the Cheetah out there for us. And I think maybe it's because they're afraid they haven't got it right yet, and they're still sort of tweaking, maybe, digitally, what she's eventually going to look like at the end of the day. All right, so there you have it. All right, now let's go to, this is another bit of, let's see, this is a little bit of the rumor mill I was talking about. But supposedly we're going to get a Zatanna movie. A Zatanna movie. Unfortunately, we don't know if it's going to star Alexandra Daddario. That's more wishful thinking on my part. I kind of wish she would have been Wonder Woman, to be honest with you, with those eyes. But Zatanna, I'll settle for. I won't complain. This is still a rumor, of course. I'm going to have to stress, but let's see. In 2018, Deadline broke the news that Warner Brothers was planning to move forward with features based around DC Comics characters Supergirl, Batgirl, and Zatanna, and it seems as if development on the latter is now starting. This comes after the news broke about Michael Keaton returning as Batman in The Flash, and those reports mentioned that his Cape Crusader would serve as mentor to Barbara Gordon in the future Batgirl movie. That bodes well for that project as well, of course, though it does seem as if the Girl of Steel's planned solo outing has been put on the back burner for the time being. It's said that this movie is going to be separate from the Justice League Dark series that J.J. Abrams is working on for HBO Max. Chances are the shows on that streaming service aren't going to be set in the DCEU. There may even be plans for other members of the team to get their own movies that won't be connected to the series. Zatanna is definitely a character with a lot of potential, though it is a shame Warner Brothers isn't planning a connected universe with their projects on HBO Max, tying into what we see on the big screen. Again, that's the copy. That's kind of suggesting something we don't know, I suppose, but it probably is going to be the case that it's going to be 2 separate universes. Again, it's sort of kind of just rumor at this point. What do you think? Do you think there is a good chance we're going to get the Zatanna movie? Is it not going to be tied into anything else? Is it going to be tied into maybe the Black Adam movie that's coming out? Is this going to be something that they might spin off into a JSA or I don't know, maybe a JLA movie going forward? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Do you want to see Alexandra Daddario as Zatanna? Very interesting casting that comes out of these movies, so who knows? You never can tell. All right, let's see. Let's talk a little more now about, we have some gossip as well about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot. We heard something about this not too long ago, that there would be a reboot from the Michael Bay films. They made 2 of them with Megan Fox. I didn't think they were awful, but they were pretty uninspired, so I really don't mind if they kind of go a different way. Hopefully they're going to have a better looking turtle. That was kind of my biggest grief with the Michael Bay films, is the turtles looked hideous and huge. I don't know. I didn't see them really. The turtles are supposed to be kind of small, lightweight, ninja. That they're kind of known for their agility and ability to hide into the shadows and stuff. It's kind of hard to do that when you're like 6'4" and weighing about 470 pounds. But we got some information here about the new Turtle movie. Let's see. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are returning to the big screen for a CG reboot from Paramount Pictures, Nickelodeon, and Seth Rogen's production company. All right, so this is going to be a CG reboot, so I imagine it's going to be something like TMNT, I don't know, what is it, like 10 years ago? Maybe 15 years ago, they did a full CG movie. Again, that was kind of forgettable for me. I really wasn't a huge fan of that movie. I don't know, started kind of interesting. I don't know, I don't even remember it, so it didn't really have too much of a impact on me. Seth Rogen, probably last remembered from the Green Hornet remake that he tried to do. That was, again, pretty bad, pretty abysmal. So that doesn't give me a whole lot of hope with this project. But then again, maybe he can tap into something with TMNT that he couldn't with Green Hornet, because Green Hornet, it didn't really have the ties to the original concept. He tried to make it into a comedy. It just didn't work. Okay, so according to Deadline, a new animated movie is in the works with Rogen and his Point Grey Pictures partners, Evan Goldberg and James Weaver. Gravity Falls director Jeff Rowe will helm the project from a script by Brendan O'Brien of Neighbors, Sorority Rising, Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Again, this does not sound very comforting, but we'll see. Let me continue on. Adding Seth, Evan, and James Genius to the humor and action that's already an integral part of TMNT is going to make this a next-level reinvention of the property, said Brian Robbins, president, Kids and Family for Viacom CBS. I'm looking forward to see what they do, and I know that Ramsey Nato and her team are excited to take the Nick Animation Studio into another great direction with their first ever CG animated theatrical. Again, this is something new, I think. This doesn't have anything to do with Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that is going on over on Nickelodeon right now, which is sort of with that grotesque looking Michael Bay style turtles. So thankfully, I think this is cutting from that. They're cutting ties with that look. Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Donatello have starred in several features at this stage, with the most recent being the moderately successful, from a financial standpoint, movies from Paramount and Michael Bay's Platinum Dunes. They previously appeared in animated form in Warner Brothers' 2007 adventure, TMNT. Yeah, that's, like I said, almost 15 years ago. Fans still regard the original 1990 film to be the best of the bunch. I would agree with that. I liked Secrets of the Use, though, too. It's kind of a toss-up. Any given day, I might say a different one. But those two are the only good ones, really, of all the movies that they made. As part of a separate deal, Nickelodeon and Netflix are teaming up for an original animated 2D film based on the current rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series. So yeah, they are going to continue on, I guess, with the Rise of the Turtles franchise with an animated movie on Netflix. So what do you think about this? Excited about the prospect of a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film? I am, but again, I don't know what they're going to bring to this. I hope they don't make it too adult, but at the same time, the 90s Turtle movie that was so good that we all, at least most of us agree was the best, they didn't sort of write it down to kids. They didn't make it a kiddie-friendly film. And, they started gradually after that film sort of dumbing down the Turtles. But, if they could find that sweet spot that the 90s Turtle movie had, that would be wonderful. That would be something. And that would be what I want to see in a Turtles movie. Just taking the project back to that level. All right, so, again, let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you looking forward to Turtles coming back to the big screen? And all right, let's go. This is an interesting story here. There is a new prospective Gotham TV series. This is supposedly going to take place prior to The Batman, the Robert Pattinson film that is going to be, I'm just trying to find my notes, that is going to be out, I guess. I don't know what it's going to be out now because they changed all the release dates. But this is, I don't know. I don't even know what it's going to be called, but let's read the copy and we'll find out together. Yesterday it was confirmed that Warner Brothers is developing a spin-off series in the world of the Batman, currently being described as an adaptation of the Gotham Central comic books. Not a huge amount about the series is known, though there are conflicting claims about whether Robert Pattinson's Caped Crusader and Jeffrey Wright's Commissioner Gordon will appear. Now, though, Variety's Justin Kroll has shed some light on plans for the TV show, saying, "No idea if Pattinson will make an appearance, but from what I've learned, it is going to be set before when the Batman is set and dive into how Gotham became corrupt and infested with criminals. This makes it a prequel, and Warner Brothers could avoid having to enlist the Batman stars by having it potentially set decades before the events of the movie. Terrence Winter's involvement could suggest that it is a period piece, as he was obviously the mastermind behind Boardwalk Empire. The hope is that more details will be revealed at DC Fandom, but it's an interesting concept and not one which ends up being too similar to Fox's Gotham with any luck." That's basically where I fall into this and I start looking at this. Is this going to be like another Gotham? Didn't we already have Gotham? This is like, I really don't want them to, again, I don't really want to repeat myself. I feel like I've talked about Gotham so many times, but the problem with Gotham, the series, was they did all the Batman villains long before Batman was old enough to face them. And you kind of run the characters, the villains, into the ground. They run out of gas if you don't have a Batman for them to fight. If Batman is 12 years old or whatever he was during Gotham, while the Riddler is 27 or the Penguin is, 32 or whatever it was, you're having this big chasm in between them, and it doesn't work. Now, if they want to take this in the direction of this is just a GCPD, basically seeing how crime bosses like Falcone and Maroni were getting their hooks into Gotham, that's another story. But the thing is, Gotham 2 tried to do that in the early seasons. I think probably the first season and maybe halfway through the second season before they gave up on that and realized, look, if you want to stick with the Batman flavor, you're going to have to get into the crazy stuff. Because if you just stick with it being a procedural, people are going to tune out. There's too many procedurals. There's too many cop shows out there where you can watch Law and Order or, whatever, CSI, Boise, Idaho. You know what I mean? There's just too many that are just taking these cops and robbers concepts. We don't need another one that just has the name Gotham slapped on it. So you'd have to appeal to the different characters, like, what about Cobblepot and all that stuff. But you do that, and then you run the risk of having a Batman show without Batman, which is ultimately what Gotham became, a Batman show without Batman. It has its fans, and I don't think it was awful, to be totally honest. But I don't know. I don't really know if that's what we need. I would seriously, ask Warner Brothers to consider, could you just give us a Batman TV series? I think it's possible. We're going to have a Superman and Lois series, and we're still potentially going to have, at least according to all rumors and reports, Henry Cavill as Superman. If we can do that, if we can have Ezra Miller on screen as the Flash and have Grant Gustin on television as the Flash, we should be able to have a Batman series by now. Just give us a Batman series on television. I don't care where you do it, HBO Max, CW. Just give us Batman on television and stop trying to give us Gotham the television show. Stop trying to give us Batwoman, which we're gonna get into momentarily. Just give us Batman. That's what I think. I speak for the fandom when I say that's what we really want to see. We want to see Batman, and you can do it on a television budget. I've always said this. For instance, Spider-Man's a little bit tougher. Spider-Man's got great villains, and you could exhaust 8 seasons just going through the Spider-Man villains and the supporting cast. But it's a lot of money you got to put in to give us a good Doc Ock, to give us a good Green Goblin, to give us a good... The special effects budget for Sandman, Venom. You know, you're going to have to do it and make concessions to the budget you can spend doing that. Batman, completely different. They could do it in the 60s. You just put a nose, a fake nose on an actor. He's the Penguin. You put makeup on a guy. He's the Joker. You don't need to spend a lot of money because... with the possible exception of Clayface, and I don't know, maybe Man-Bat, I don't know, you really could do everything else on a TV budget. Even Mr. Freeze. You just put a couple of bucks to the freeze gun, and some of those effects. They had him on Gotham, Mr. Freeze. You can do it. But, there really isn't much that's needed. I mean, if you want to make it sort of year one, too, that would be very easy. So you could say, well, Batman doesn't have, the Batwing, the Batplane, the Batboat. Make it an early series. And in his career, all he has is the Batmobile. It's all you really need. And even that, you can tone down the gadgets by saying, well, it's year one, it's year two. And, maybe you could cut corners and still give us some good gadgets. Who knows? But that's what I think. I mean, that's one man's opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do we need a GCPD show? Do we need another Gotham-type prequel to the Batman legacy? Let me know in the comments below what you think. And moving right along. Sipping a little H2O. All right, moving right along. We're going to go now. We're going to talk about Batwoman. We've got some... interesting developments here in the ongoing saga of CW's Batwoman. Now, just to briefly touch on it, again, I did a full episode about Ruby Rose leaving the show as Kate Kane. YouTube decided to take it down. I don't know why. Maybe because it was just one of those things where it was an automated thing that took it down. I don't know why it was taken down. But for whatever reason, it was taken down. So I appealed the decision. I had never heard back from them, and they never restored it. So I don't know. Probably because I've got only so many followers. They're not making it a priority. But to briefly recap that story. Ruby Rose decided to leave the show after the first season. No clear indication why. Some people are saying because she was injured on the show. She required surgery. It could have left her with paralysis. That was sort of a wake-up call that she didn't really want to do it. Others suggest that she was just sort of cantankerous about the daily grind of a costume show like this. And I can see either of them being true. I could see either of them being the case. So she left the show. The powers that be decided they were not going to replace her character. They were going to replace Batwoman with another actress, and the highest priority was going to be that she was going to be an honest-to-goodness lesbian, because for some reason acting, it doesn't count for anything in this day and age. You don't have to be a successful actor. You have to just, represent the character that you're playing. Unfortunately, this doesn't hold true if the character is white. If the character is white, you could be anything. You could be a half Latino, half Asian midget with one arm, and you can still play Batman. It doesn't matter. But if you're playing a lesbian on television, you better damn well be a lesbian in real life. And that was the case here. Of course, they scored extra woke points by getting a black actress. So now this is the first black female lesbian superhero TV show ever in the history of histories. And again, they're scoring extra woke points. I've said, before we even get into the copy, I've said, really, if they want to keep the show going, they really have to recast. They've got to keep it Kate Kane. They want to do right by Ruby Rose and try to treat her like she's this big celebrity that, made an impact on, like she can't be replaced. She's another Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, or William Shatner as Captain Kirk or something. I mean, I don't know. Let's not go that far. Let's not get cray-cray here. But they want to do right by her. I can see that. So they're going to make it a completely different character. Now, there is tentative interest in Batwoman to begin with, because she's basically picking up the mantle for an absentee Bruce Wayne. And that's kind of what the interest was. Is Bruce Wayne going to come back? Is she going to be able to pass the mantle back to him when he comes back? Is she going to find him? Bruce Wayne is her cousin, and there's that connection. We also have the connection that the main villain in the show is Rachel Scarsden, I believe is her name, as Alice, her twin sister. Now, she was my entire reason for watching the show, Alice. She was the only interesting character really on the show. But also you have side characters such as Mary, I believe, is her stepsister. You have her father being, again, I guess the uncle to Bruce Wayne. You have Luke Fox, again, having close ties with the Waynes. So, again, now that you're going to completely take some character literally from the street and just become Batwoman, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know how you pull this off. But they're going to try. They're going to try. All right, so let's read the copy. Deadline confirmed that God Friended Me star, and I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly, Javicia Leslie? I believe that's how you pronounce it. Javicia Leslie has been cast as the new Batwoman following Ruby Rose's shock departure. As was previously reported, the actress will play a newly created character called Ryan Wilder. Ryan Wilder. Ryan, does that mean she's trans by any chance? I don't know. I mean, it could be, for all I know. She's set to make her debut as Gotham City's Cape Crusader when the show returns to the CW next January. God Friended Me is a CBS series produced by Greg Bertolanti, so he didn't have to look far for his new star. Yeah, well, a little nepotiz, you know what I mean, that doesn't hurt. Leslie was quoted in a statement, "I am extremely proud to be the first black actress to play the iconic role of Batwoman on television. And as a bisexual woman, I am honored to play this. I'm honored to join this groundbreaking show, which has been such a trailblazer for the LGBTQ plus community." The character of Ryan Wilder is described as likable, messy, a little goofy, and untamed. She's also nothing like Kate Kane, the woman who wore the batsuit before her. Again, this is kind of interesting that they're going in this direction. They're going to make a detachment here on exactly the nature of the character. She's not going to act like Batwoman you've ever seen or known before. This, again, also goes against comic book lore, which is another thing that is kind of unsettling, you know, a little, they're going to create a whole new character and just hope people like it. It has nothing to do with what has been established before. Interesting. With no one in her life to keep her on track, Ryan spent years as a drug runner, dodging the GCPD and masking her pain with bad habits. Today, Ryan lives in her van with her plant, a girl who would steal milk for an alley cat and could also kill you with her bare hands. Ryan is the most dangerous type of fighter, highly skilled and wildly undisciplined. An out lesbian, athletic, raw, passionate, fallible, or failable, and very much not your stereotypical all-American hero. Leslie's previous credits include The Family Business and Always a Bridesmaid, though this is arguably her biggest role to date. Casting both a black actress and an openly bisexual woman to play Batwoman definitely points to the series being committed to diversity. Fans will no doubt be eagerly anticipating seeing her suited up as the Scarlet Knight. Yeah. Ruby Rose has shown her support for the new Caped Crusader by welcoming Java? I don't know, into the Arrowverse and congratulating her on landing what was no doubt a highly sought-after part. OMG, this is amazing, Rose wrote in her Instagram post. I am so glad Wonder Woman, excuse me. I got a little too valley there in my reading of it, and I got a little excited. I'm so glad Batwoman will be played by an amazing black woman. I want to congratulate Jevesia Leslie on taking over the Bat Cape. You are walking into an amazing cast and crew. I can't wait to watch season 2. You are going to be amazing. Well, we all hope that's the case, don't we? I'm going to have to see. I mean, I'm willing to give her the same chance I gave Ruby Rose, but at the same time, this is a completely different character. You know, this is literally like taking Batman, like making a Batman TV show and having the actor leave and say, all right, Jason Todd is going to be your new Batman. It's like, I don't know about that. I didn't sign up for that, did I? I mean, you know, you could do a story arc or something where Batman, you know, that was done in like Nightfall and stuff, right? I mean, that's cool, but this is going to be our Batwoman going forward. I don't know how they're going to write Ruby Rose out. If she's dead, that's it. But if she's going to sort of pick up where she's got to try to find Ruby, you know, Kate Kane, and she's got to find, let's put it this way, she's going to find Kate Kane, who's trying to find Bruce Wayne, who's trying to do something out there we don't know. Kind of sounds and looks to me to be a mess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, but let me know. Like I said, I kind of liked Batwoman on the prospect of Alice. Will she still be in the show? Maybe. Will she still be interesting in the show? Maybe. I'll try to find that out. But yeah, I don't know. It's not sounding too promising. We'll stick with the CW theme, as we got a little news as well that Stargirl, there's a Stargirl. I got to do that every time I say Stargirl for some reason. There's a Stargirl report. Stargirl season 2 is a go. And apparently it will now be moving to the CW. Let us now do the sign of the cross in memory of Stargirl. We barely knew ye. Breck Bassinger. Is she related to Kim Basinger? I don't know. I was curious about that, but I've never been interested enough to look it up. But Breck Bassinger, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough seeing Stargirl become a CW production. Because the reason why, and I want to do a review of Stargirl Season 1 once I'm through watching it all. Of course, we're only up to, I don't know, what is it? Episode 6, I think, just came out this past week. But I'm going to do a brief review about it. And it's fun. It's refreshing because it's actually talking about being a superhero. I would say 60% of the time. At least 60%, 65 to 70% maybe a case could be made. There are a few episodes early on where it's about school and the cliques and the drama. But honestly, they're really playing this as a superhero show first. And that is very refreshing for someone that's lived with CW series for the last 20 years and someone who's lived with... before that, in the 90s, we really didn't have too much to choose from. I mean, we had Lois and Clark. I really never caught into that show. I don't know. I really should try to watch it again. I don't know if it's on in a streaming service or not. I was just, there. I didn't like it. Dean Cain was in the news. This is I should have made this maybe part of the show, but he got on the news for being in trouble for saying Superman couldn't say truth, justice, and the American way anymore. Which, honestly, he hasn't been able to in the last, 20 years. And people are arguing this like he's wrong. I don't understand it. I mean, just watch Superman Returns and tell me if that's not the case. But anyway, not to digress. Supergirl starring exclusively on the CW. I don't know. It's not going to be about being a superhero anymore. It's going to be at least 85% about interpersonal relationships. I mean, for instance, just look at the... there was a scene with Icicle and the mom on the show. What's her name? Barbara, I think. Amy Smart plays her. And there was like a subplot where he's taking her to do a business conference or something like that. And like, to my shock and surprise, it turned out that really didn't turn out to be anything. It wasn't about romance. It wasn't about infidelity. It was like nothing. And in the same way, there was the scene with, I think, what's his name? Mike. He's the son of what's the other guy's name? Like I said, I'm just doing this off the top of my head. What's the stepfather's name in the show? Pat or something. I don't know. Anyway, Stripesy. That's what I remember him as. Anyway, he's like jealous that his father's spending more time with Courtney. And there's like one scene. There's one scene that deals with that. And then after that, he apologizes. So there's like maybe 2 scenes on that whole storyline. It really didn't beat it into the ground like they would. There would be on a CW series, there would be like 3 episodes revolving around that entirely. And there would be like probably, 8, 10-minute scenes that would deal with that. And on this show, it's like they go where you would expect them to go, but they either take a different path or they don't beat it into the ground. I can just see where that's going to be lost. The instances of LGBTQ are going to rise 95%. I'm saying it right now, mark my words. There is going to have to be a large LGBTQ presence on the show. And it's going to happen early. Look at what happened with Supergirl. They wasted no time. As soon as season 2 of Supergirl was greenlit on the CW, boom, they went straight to making Alex lesbian, making it an LGBTQ lineup in the show. Same thing's going to happen here. It's just got to be. That's the only way they could fit it on the CW. And again, costume time. This show has been, because that is one of the biggest problems that the CW has, with the exception of Supergirl. To their credit, and to Melissa Benoist's credit, she wears that costume probably 90% of the time. And it's acceptable, I think, because she doesn't wear a mask. When it has to do with Grant Gustin and The Flash, and when it had to do with Stephen Amell, I think they don't want to have to be completely all covered up in the costume and so forth. But with Melissa Benoist, they seem to be like, well, she's wearing the spandex suit, but then again, so is Alex wearing a spandex suit, and now they've even tried to bring in a suit for John Jones that he wears most of the time. So they kind of get away with it on that basis. But I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot less suit-up time. In the most recent episode, they still found a way to get, and not to really give any spoilers away to the show, but where she's injured, Courtney's injured for a large portion of the episode, they still say, this is a comic book show. She's going to get in costume. She's going to get out of a sick bed and get into her costume and do something heroic before this episode is over. And I said, if I was running the CW and I was in charge of an Arrowverse show, the first thing I would do with a prospective cast member is I would say, this is your costume for the show. You're going to wear this costume for roughly 50% of the episode's runtime. Probably at least half the time you're on this show, you're going to be wearing this costume. Do you feel comfortable with that? Do you feel comfortable with the costume? Is there any way we can alter the costume now? Let us know now to make it a little more comfortable for you, because you're going to be in that costume for half of the time you're on the show. And if they say no to any of that, thanks for joining us. We'll see you some other time. The costume should come first. I tune into these shows, I go to these movies to see the character in costume, not to be travailing over their romances, over their, civilian identity. I go to these shows and movies to see them be the character, to be heroic and to do heroic action adventure things. So if they can do that, they've got a good show. If not, then you're in trouble. So let me know what you think. Are you happy that there's a Stargirl season 2? Do you like the show so far? I like it so far. Like I said, it's very refreshing. Because honestly, when I tuned in, the first couple episodes, I was like, I think they're probably going for a different demographic. This is going to be a teeny bopper show. It's going to be about life in high school. It's going to be what they're trying to do at Riverdale. No, not really. I mean, there's some elements of that. I would honestly compare this more to Cobra Kai with the way they're treating school. It's not the most important thing. And it's also, it works on other levels. It's dealing with parent and child issues. And more importantly, something that I think I've probably never seen, it's dealing with step-parent and stepchild issues. It's very interesting. I mean, you don't see that. I mean, it's like when you talk about things like, for instance, like Superman, and he's got his adoptive parents. Well, they're really his parents. You know what I mean? They raised him from birth, to adulthood and this and that. In the case of Courtney, she's fielding a different challenge than that. She's not trying to adapt to, she is trying to adapt to a new way of living. You know what I mean? She's not just brought up with an adoptive parents the way that most of the superhero shows are. Spider-Man, Peter Parker's grown up with Aunt May and Uncle Ben for most of his life, from young childhood on. So it's not like a challenge. But in the case of Courtney, that's part of the challenge she has to overcome. Again, I'm sort of already reviewing the show before it's before it's done. So I'm probably going to have to go back and revisit this. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you like Stargirl, and are you hoping that they are going to have multiple seasons? Let me know. All right. And our final story of the evening, apparently, the lovely and gracious Johnny Depp. You didn't know where I was going with that, did you? Yeah, the lovely and gracious Johnny Depp is going to lose command of the Black Pearl to the even lovelier and even graciouser Margot Robbie for the Pirates of the Caribbean reboot. I believe this is going to be a reboot. This is not going to be a continuation, although they're saying it might be sort of in the same universe. We'll find out. Let me read the copy first before I go into any more escapades here. Margot Robbie is set to sail the 7 seas. Sail is spelled wrong. See, I can't feel too badly. I look at when I make a faux pas in my books, and it aggravates me. It aggravates because I'm like, it feels so unprofessional when you have a spelling error. And I'm like, everybody in the world's going to see that. Most people probably don't care. But when you look at these online articles, honestly, there is no proofreading whatsoever. Sail, S-A-L-E. All right. That gets through. I don't know. Margot Robbie is set to sail the 7 seas for Disney's female-fronted Pirates of the Caribbean movie, which is said to be completely separate from the reboot that's in the works with Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin and previous Pirates movies writer Ted Elliott. Oh, okay, so, all right, so you got it right there. This is not going to be the reboot. This is going to be a separate adventure. So I don't know if this is not a reboot, this might just have something to do with that universe. I don't know. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the Academy Award-nominated Harley Quinn actress will re-team with Birds of Prey writer Christina Hodson, who has been hired to pen the script. Okay, so now you see right here. Now, a lot of people are saying this spells doom for the Birds of Prey sequel. It's unofficially canceled now. I would go so far as to say I think that there never was a Birds of Prey 2 in the works. But I can unequivocally say this is good confirmation that there is not going to be a Birds of Prey 2, because they're obviously saying, oh, Christina Hodson, we're happy with what you did. We're going to let you work with Margot Robbie again. They're probably going to get back the same director. They may even get a couple members of the cast back from Birds of Prey to give them another vehicle, because basically that's what Birds of Prey was. It was basically just a vehicle for her. Well, mostly Margot Robbie, but for, Margot Robbie to, sort of have fun in the sandbox with all these other female creators and this and that. When they realized that it really didn't work. And again, I just did my review of Birds of Prey not too long ago. And I said, I've said, it wasn't a complete disaster, but it wasn't a Birds of Prey movie. So I think they are smart to cut their losses We don't need to see that version of Birds of Prey ever again. We don't need to see that version of Black Canary, that version of Huntress ever again. So trust me, just cut your losses, keep Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, and just give her a better vehicle. Just give her a vehicle that'll showcase what we want to see out of Harley Quinn. Get rid of Cassandra Cain. Just let them have different roles in this Pirates of the Caribbean spin-off or whatever it is. Apparently, the project is a wholly original story with new characters under the Pirates moniker and is now not being developed as a spin-off of the blockbusting franchise under Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow. So if this is a reboot and Mazarin's movie is a reboot, we're getting 2 separate Pirates reboots. Interesting. At any rate, plot details are still hidden away in Davy Jones' locker, but there's speculation that Robbie could be playing Red, the popular meet and greet character from the Disney Parks attraction. Ooh, that sounds cool. I like the sound of that. They're keeping it tied to the actual attraction. I don't think she's going to be playing the Buy a Wench character, because I think they did away with that, if I remember correctly, because it caused too much of a stir. And again, political correctness running rampant as it is. Longtime Pirates producer Jerry Bruckheimer is attached to produce both this and the Elliot Mazin project. But I could see Margot Robbie as a sexy pirate, huh? I hope that's what they're doing with this. If they're just going to make her look like, I don't know, like the guy that takes care of the hogs or something, they could very well. I don't put nothing past Disney to de-glamorize one of the most glamorous actresses in the world. But gee, doesn't Margot Robbie have enough on her plate already? She's going to be Harley Quinn, hopefully, for time immemorial. She's already slated to be Barbie in the Barbie movie. She's already slated to be Tinkerbell in the Tinkerbell movie. I'm sure she's got a few other provocative dramas that she's going to do. Where's she going to find the time to do Pirates of the Caribbean with all this stuff? Because, I mean, I can see her doing all these films, but I would really want to see her take the most time doing more Harley Quinn movies, because that's really that's her niche, and I know that she's more than that. Like I said, I know she's going to be probably trying to do these Oscar pictures or whatever, but I think she even knows that her bread and butter niche should be Harley Quinn. If she just gets the right vehicles for that, she's going to do fine. But yeah, I could see her decked out in the pirate stuff. I would like to see her do this with Johnny Depp. Again, news going around about Johnny Depp. It's really sad because I don't really like to get into this kind of section of the gossip and this and that, but he's been done wrong. Let's face it, he's been done wrong by Amber Heard, trying to get him canceled, trying to get his career ruined. The poor guy was the recipient of the abuse in that relationship, and it's pretty much out there for everybody to see. So he should not be canceled. He should be allowed to continue on as Jack Sparrow. There's no need for him not to. And they've tried to cancel him. He was forced to leave several projects. I think he was originally going to be in The Invisible Man. That went to somebody else. And I think he's also attached to another film that I can't remember what it was now, that was also he was taken out of the running. There has been some word of him maybe being the next Joker for the Robert Pattinson version. I doubt that's going to be the case, but I could give him the benefit of the doubt in that role. He might, bring something to it that others haven't. But again, that's a travesty, because that was a character that meant a lot to Johnny Depp, and to have it just taken away from him because of lies and again, like I've said before, it's very much a he said, she said thing. I don't even really want to get into who's right and wrong on this. That really is nobody's business. Amber Heard should continue being Mira. Johnny Depp should continue being Jack Sparrow. I don't care who was right. I don't care who was wrong. That doesn't mean they don't work. You know what I'm saying? You could lose your respect for Amber Heard, or if the case was in the reverse, you could lose your respect for Johnny Depp. Don't support their projects then. That doesn't mean they should never work again. And, you know, then that's when it comes to the point where people are, you know, the producers are like, well, is this going to jeopardize the money-making potential of the movie? Should we get rid of Johnny Depp if everybody's going to boycott his movie? I can understand that, but still, it's his business. You know, I'm paying for his product. If his product is a movie that I like, I don't care what he does in his personal life. You know, it's just the same thing here with Amber Heard. I don't know. I mean, is that a shallow way of looking at it? I don't know. I don't think we have the right to micromanage, you know, who works and who doesn't. It's a cancel culture thing. It's the same thing with J.K. Rowling. I think she very early on stood up for Johnny Depp because I think he's in the Fantastic Beasts franchise. I've watched all the Harry Potter films. I'm not really into the prequel stuff, so I don't really know what part he plays or whatever that's all about. But she stood up for him. And of course, there's a lot of stuff going on with her too now, with her, you know, trying to address cancel culture and that, because, you know, a lot of people on the left are eating their own. That's what always happens. But anyway, again, you know, I just would like to see Johnny Depp continue on with his version of Pirates of the Caribbean. I would like to see Margot Robbie start with this character, whatever it would be, as a potential spin-off. You know, they could still do both. And why not? It would be a lot of fun. I just recently, as a matter of fact, I saw on YouTube Z for Zachariah, Margot Robbie film I was looking forward to seeing. I don't know if I should do a review on that, because I don't really review, you know, serious dramas. I don't know. I'll decide that. It was good to a point. I didn't like the ending. Let's put it that way. So anyway, let me know in the comments below. Do you want to see me review Z for Zachariah? I could do it. It won't be a long video. I don't think I need it to be that long. But that's going to do it for this week's adventure in the Torch News Roundup. If you liked what you saw, give the video a thumbs up. If you didn't like what you saw, give the video a thumbs down. I don't care. It helps the algorithm either way. Make sure you check out the description for the links. You can find The Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye, an all-ages action-adventure series about a down-on-his-luck private eye who takes on the most colorful collection of villains imaginable in each and every action-packed issue. Keep your eyes open. Maybe we'll have that Indiegogo coming up. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about it as the weeks progress. Check out the link for my Twitter page. Follow me on Twitter. I follow back all my followers. I sub back to all my subbers. So if you're interested in that, please be sure to have a go at that subscribe button. And of course, leave your thoughts in the comments about any and all subjects here in this episode or in any episodes, and I will try to get to them in a mailbag segment in a future episode. Let me know what you think about The Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, if you in fact read it, as some of my subscribers have, as we mentioned earlier today. So until next we meet, this is Johnny Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.